The holidays. It's a time to get together with family. Sometimes this is a joyful experience. Sometimes it feels like they just drive you crazy. So how do you have an easier time for yourself that's more loving, more joyful, and more harmonious, as it should? That's what we're going to take a look at today. Coming up. Welcome to the Power of Quiet, helping you realize the power inside of yourself to have abundance, happiness, peace, and imperturbability. And if you're new here, hit subscribe, because what we do here on this channel is practical and provable. Now, I just got back from visiting my mom, and let me just tell you about my mom. She is a wonderful, wonderful person, first of all. She's loving, she's all-giving, and the greatest thing about having her as a mom is knowing that no matter what, she's always there to support me, no matter what. Now, at the same time, her personality and my personality are like totally different. She's a strong woman with a strong personality. She's a take charge sort of person, in your face, enthusiastic, and when I show up, she plans everything out like to the minute of every day. And usually she's putting me to work and everybody else in the household on some house project or something, and she gives all of us our marching orders, tells us what to do, how to do it. And when I come, my feelings, my reaction to all of that is something kind of like this. That's how I felt. And it's not because of her. It just triggers and stirs up my own feelings of resistance and like, I gotta get out of here, sort of a thing. And over the years that I learned how to use this method to let go of these feelings inside of me that would get triggered, I'd use it. So I would, prior to visiting her, spend like the whole week before bringing up all the feelings I know will get triggered, start letting them go before I even show up. And that would be great. I would do really, really well for a couple of days. And then inevitably, in the middle of my time with her, this wall of resistance would come slamming down. And all of a sudden, I'm at her place feeling like I'm crawling out of my skin, like I gotta get out of here. And in those times, I would react, I'd snap at her, or I would just be grumpy, and she would back off. And I would start feeling guilty because I could feel like maybe she feels a little bit hurt or something. And I feel bad, and the rest of my trip would just kind of be tainted by that. Now, on this last trip, however, I noticed the entire time it just felt smooth, connected, and loving. And I didn't hit this wall of resistance like I had in the past, even when I was releasing. And this is tremendous. You see, this shows that you stick through this work. You keep doing it. You don't just let go of 20% of what bothers you or 70% of what bothers you. You stay with it until you bring up all of these feelings that can get triggered, and you let them all go. And what I experienced was just amazing, because I could stay with them and be with them in harmony without judgments. I could fully enjoy our time together. And it was amazing. I just had the most incredible time visiting my mom. And this shows us that we can all conquer this aspect of our relationship with our families, because we do love our family. And at the same time, our family often drives us crazy. So just by letting go, and it's nothing to do with them. It's our own feelings, which I know sounds painfully obvious, but when we do get triggered and bothered, where we don't want to hang around our family anymore, we often blame them, consciously or subconsciously. We are not taking responsibility that it's us who's getting triggered. They're doing it to us, is the way that we act that out. And when we fully release that, what's left is love, harmony, real connection, and an understanding of the other one. And that's a beautiful thing. So let's work on this so that you can have the most exquisite, pleasant, and easy time with your family this holiday season. All right? So think about if you're visiting family or you're having family visit you. See if there's anybody in particular, or maybe it's just everybody, that brings up some feelings of resistance, like, oh gosh, I'm going to have to weather through this storm. Sure, it's family. It's a good thing that we're getting together, but it's also like an obligation. I got to do it. Now bring your awareness to your stomach or chest. Just notice. If you just think about the family that you're going to be visiting with, if you have a tightness or contraction that shows up in your stomach or chest, and if it helps you can close your eyes, put your head down, just so you can bring your awareness here into your feeling center. And notice if there's a tightness, a clenching feeling in your stomach or chest. And what that's showing you, that's your body letting you know you're pushing down your feelings. And you're holding on to the feelings that bother you now. And all you have to do right now, just open up a window or door right in front of this energy, this contraction, wherever it is that you feel it. Open up a door right in front of that. And imagine that energy moving right on out the door. Just imagine it leaving, moving through. And imagine it just evaporating and dissolving as it goes right on out that door. And even more. And even more. And even more. And even more. And just watch that energy leave. It's just energy. It's not good. It's not bad. Just energy passing through. And watch it leave even more. And even more. And even more. And notice how you feel. Just notice if it feels a little bit lighter. All right, that's showing you that you're letting go. And you're moving in the right direction. And that shows you that you don't have to fight with these feelings that get stirred up by your family. And honestly, they're doing you a favor. If they can trigger you, if they can push your buttons, stir up these feelings of resistance, resentment, whatever. Those feelings are inside of you. They're not doing it to you. They're doing you a favor by pointing out something that you have inside of you. So you can see it And you have a choice to let it go. And you see how easy it is to just let go, opening up that door, letting it leave. And the proof is that lighter feeling. Now, just welcome up some more while you're at it. See if you can bring up any more feelings that when you think about being with your family, that bothers you. And bring your awareness to your stomach or chest. Open up. And just allow that energy to pass through. Right on out that door. Just that imaginary door. And just allow it to leave out that door even more. And even more. And even more. And even more. And notice how you feel now. Does it feel even lighter, even easier? And see, that lighter feeling is your natural happiness coming out now. And see, when you're coming from this place, you're just happy. And you take off the table anything that bothers you, all this energy that gets triggered, then nobody can take that happiness away from you. You can hang out with your family, have the greatest time. And it's up to you. Your happiness is up to you. Now let's take it a step further. Think about someone in your family. And maybe you're visiting them this holiday season, maybe you're not. But think about somebody in your family that you don't get along with so well, or that you have judgments about, or you plain just don't like. And notice if you're disapproving of this person. Now, you disapproving of this person, does that help you in any way? Does it help them? And by disapproving of them, does that change anything? It doesn't, does it? And by disapproving of them, who's walking around with that feeling? You see, whether you're visiting them or not, whether they're in your presence or not, when you're disapproving of them, you're the one who has to walk around with that hateful feeling, that negative feeling. And they have that saying, disapproving of someone or having a grudge against someone is like taking poison and waiting for the other person to die. Because you're walking around with that feeling, you're doing it to yourself. So you see how silly it is to take this position of disapproving of the other one. Doesn't change anything, doesn't help anyone, and just makes you miserable. And who's doing it? You're doing it, aren't you? And if you're doing it, and it's something that's not productive and not positive, now you can make a decision. I'm going to be positive and loving, or I'm going to be negative and hateful. What do you decide? Now, I'm assuming you're deciding to be positive. All right? And after all, this is the holiday season. We're getting into the right spirit here. So now, could you let go of disapproving of this person? Since it's your choice, you're doing it. Could you let that go? And could you let go disapproving of them a little bit more? Then could you let go disapproving of them a little bit more? And could you let go disapproving of them even more? And could you let go disapproving of them even more? And could you let go disapproving of them even more? and even more. And even more. And could you let go of disapproving of them even more? And it's just a decision, yes or no. And could you let go of disapproving of them even more? And even more. Now notice how you feel. Does it feel lighter? And that's all we're looking for. It's showing us that we're moving in the right direction. Now, could you give this person some approval? Now, it doesn't mean that you have to agree with them. It's just recognizing that there's nothing wrong with love, with positivity. And you can be loving, you can be positive, and you can still tell it like it is. It's just not being pushed around by your own feelings and being pushed around by negativity that you're creating in your own mind. Right? So, could you be loving now? And could you give this person some love and approval? Just because? And could you give them some more love and approval? And could you give them even more love and approval? And even more. And could you give them even more love and approval? And even more. 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 And notice how that feels. It feels nice, right? And that's the benefit that you get from being loving. Because when you're loving, guess what? You get to walk around with a nice, loving feeling. And you're doing it. And see, that puts you in charge. And nobody can take that away from you. See, this is how you step up. And you take charge of your feelings, your happiness, and out of this comes all the abundance, all the harmony, and where things in the world really go your way. Because it really is up to you. And if you would like to have harmony and abundance this holiday season, you see, it's up to you. So keep doing this. Do this with everybody in your family and everybody that you come in contact with this holiday season. And just watch what happens. It's going to set you up for a tremendous new year. All right? So if this is helpful, let me know by hitting the like button below. And again, if you're new here, hit subscribe and keep an eye out. This spring, I'm going to do a whole new 6-week course that's focused on family relationships and having complete harmony in the family, erasing all the negativity from the past. It's going to be very comprehensive, a whole bunch of new exercises and a whole new focus on just cleaning up your consciousness with your family. So check it out. Keep an eye out for that. And I'll see you soon.